You know that feeling, right? Headphones on, volume cranked up, and the rest of the world just vanishes. Music is this incredibly personal, super powerful thing for all of us. But have you ever really stopped and thought, what is actually happening inside my body when this song hits just right?
So let's get into it, because it's not just a feeling in your head. Oh no, music kicks off this whole cascade of real, physical changes all through your body. We're talking everything from your nerves to your hormones. And trust me, some of these changes are not what you'd expect.
All right, to really get what music does to us, we need to pop the hood and look at the engine. We're going to start with the system that's running the whole show in the background, your body's own internal autopilot.
Okay, so this is your autonomic nervous system, the ANS for short. Think of it like the software that runs all the stuff you don't consciously control, your breathing, your digestion, and importantly, your heartbeat. Now, scientists have this really cool way to kind of listen in on what the ANS is up to. It's called heart rate variability, or HRV. And here's the thing, a super steady metronome-like heartbeat isn't actually ideal. By looking at the tiny, natural changes in time between each beat, researchers can get a super clear picture of whether your body is stressed out or chilling out in response to, well, something like music.
So inside this autonomic nervous system, there's this constant tug of war going on. On one side, you've got the sympathetic system. That's your fight or flight response. It's the gas pedal, revving you up for action. And on the other side, you've got the parasympathetic system. That's your rest and digest mode. It's the brake, designed to calm you down. The balance between this gas pedal and this brake is pretty much everything when it comes to how we feel.
So that leads to a really cool question. Can different kinds of music literally push on that gas pedal or hit the brake for us? To figure that out, let's check out a kind of scientific musical showdown. We're going to look at this really interesting study from 2014 that basically pitted two completely opposite music genres against each other. The researchers wanted to see exactly how classical Baroque music versus heavy metal would mess with that internal tug-of-war in our nervous system.
And the results? They were pretty wild. The classical music did what you'd probably guess. It eased up on that fight or flight system, basically tapping the brakes on stress. But heavy metal? It did something totally different. It actually lowered the activity in both the stress system and the relaxation system. It was kind of like it turned down the master volume on the entire nervous system. So here's what the researchers said in their own words. Now, reduced sympathetic modulation, that's just science speak for it, calmed the stress response. And decreased the global variability of the heart rate, that means it quieted down the whole nervous system. So you see, two very different types of music left two totally distinct fingerprints on the body.
But you know those electrical signals in your nervous system? That's only half the story. Music is also mixing up a pretty powerful chemical cocktail inside you by playing with your hormones.
First on the list is dopamine. You've probably heard of this one. It's the famous feel-good chemical. It's a huge part of your brain's reward circuit. And when you're listening to a song you just absolutely love, you know, that moment of anticipation right before the beat drops, your brain can give you a little hit of dopamine. That's what makes it feel so good, so rewarding.
Then we've got serotonin. This one is like your internal mood stabilizer. It's a big deal for things like anxiety, sleep, and just your general sense of well-being. And what's really cool here is that studies show that actively making music, like singing in the shower, playing guitar, that can actually give your serotonin levels a nice little boost.
And last but definitely not least, we have to talk about cortisol. This is your body's #1 stress hormone. It's the alarm system. Whenever your brain thinks there's a threat, it floods your system with cortisol to get you ready to deal with it. Now, remember this one, tuck it away because it is about to become very important.
Okay, and that brings us to the most surprising twist in this whole story. We all think of our favorite music as the ultimate stress reliever, right? But what if, on a deep biological level, it's secretly doing the exact opposite?
Let's just put the question out there, point blank. Is it possible that blasting a song you absolutely adore is actually putting your body into a state of stress, even when you don't feel it at all?
Well, a brand new study from 2024 decided to put this to the test. Researchers set up a fascinating experiment. They compared the body's stress response in 3 different scenarios. 1, an intense psychological stress test. 2, a tough physical stress test. And 3, just listening to your favorite music but loud. And here it is, the first bombshell result. They measured everyone's cortisol, that stress hormone we just talked about. As you'd expect, the psychological and physical tests made cortisol levels shoot through the roof. But look at that third bar. Listening to their own favorite music, loud, triggered a nearly identical cortisol spike.
On a purely physiological level, their bodies were reacting as if they were under serious threat.
But get this. This is the paradox. When the researchers turned around and asked people, "So how stressed do you feel right now?" the picture completely flipped. People felt super stressed during the first 2 tests, of course, but during the music session, they felt great. Their minds were saying, "I love this," while their bodies were literally screaming, "Stress."
So here it is, the big takeaway from all this. There can be a massive disconnect between your mind and your body. The intense pleasure you get from your favorite loud music can act like a mask, completely hiding the biological stress response happening underneath. Your brain is having a great time, so you don't register the stress, but your body is still pumping out those stress chemicals.
Okay, wow, that is a lot to process, I know. But hey, this isn't about telling you to stop listening to your favorite music. Not at all. It's about being more intentional, more mindful, about becoming the DJ for your own body and mind.
So here are 4 simple ways you can use this knowledge. First, just be mindful of the volume. It seems that cortisol release really kicks in around 90–95 decibels. That's about as loud as a lawnmower. Second, try the ISO principle. It's simple. If you're feeling down, don't just throw on a super happy song. Start with music that matches your mood, then slowly build a playlist that guides you to where you want to be. Third, make music yourself. Don't just consume it. Singing, especially with other people, can actually lower cortisol. And fourth, pay attention to tempo. Need energy? Go fast. But if you want to seriously chill out, find music between 60 and 80 beats per minute. That's the tempo of a resting heart, and it can literally slow your whole system down.
So next time you go to press play, just pause for a second. Think about it. Your entire life has a soundtrack playing in the background. And now you have the power to make sure that soundtrack is actually working for you, not stressing you out from behind the scenes. The only real question left is, what are you going to listen to next?